He just doubled a 9 against a 10. I'm Colin.
I'm Loudon.
We're a couple professional card counters, and we're going to be reacting to the movie The Card Counter.
I was in prison. I learned to count cards.
That was the whole training process.
What separates Blackjack from other games is that it's based on dependent events, meaning past affects the probability in the future. The house has a 1.5% advantage.
What? So he just said the house has a 1.5% advantage. There is no blackjack game that any reasonable card counter would play with a 1.5% advantage, at least if you're counting cards at it. The average game that a card counter would play is maybe 0.5% advantage. You're not gonna beat a casino blackjack game with a 1.5% advantage with card counting.
To do this, he has to keep track of every card that is played.
Okay, he just said he has to keep track of every card that's played. Not exactly. A card counter is not keeping track of every card that's played. They're keeping a count of the values of the kinds of cards that have been played. Maybe it's a nuance, but still, it's a little different.
You keep track by knowing which cards you don't need to keep track of.
Yeah, basically.
Count is based on a high-low system. High cards, 10, Jack, Queen, King, have a value of -1.
This is the world's slowest
If they're
dealer.
depleted, player's advantage goes down. 9 over 4.5 gives you a true count of +2. As true count increases, the player's advantage increases. The
Wait,
idea
I think he just doubled a 9 against a 10. Did I see that right?
9 over 4.5 gives you a true count of +2. As true count increases, the player's advantage.
He just doubled a 9 against a 10. Okay, so
At what count would you do that?
he's explaining card counting, but there's something more fundamental that card counting is based upon, which is called basic strategy. It is the proper way to play the game. If you don't know how to play the game properly, no amount of card counting is going to work for you. And he just pulled a move no card counter would ever do, doubling a 9 against a dealer's 10. How often have you done that?
Never?
Yeah.
0 to never.
Who consulted with this movie? Because that is such an egregious mistake. He says the point is to bet little when you don't have the advantage. Well, when you're doubling a 9 against a 10, you definitely don't have an advantage.
He should have bet very little on that.
Going from the casino to the Super 6, that feels about right.
Yeah, many a night.
So that actually feels accurate because card counters, while we might have an advantage, we're not spending all of the money we made on these luxurious hotel rooms. Maybe you get a comped room from a casino. Otherwise, yeah. I think we've shared a Super 6 or whatever that was before.
Yeah, you're just trying to keep expenses down while you're working, so you don't want to blow all of your money on high-priced rooms.
I've watched you play. You count cards, right?
I'm not that smart.
But you win, so you count cards. How do you avoid getting backed off?
I've been backed off.
She says, but you win, so you count cards. Okay. How often do you win?
55% of the time.
Yeah, that's definitely a misnomer about card counting, is that you count cards, you always win. Well, you know what? There are gamblers that sometimes win. The reality is gamblers are going to lose more often than they win, but they have winning days. Card counters have losing days. We have plenty of losing days. We're going to win more money than we lose, but you don't, as a card counter, win every time. But that'd be nice.
How do you avoid getting backed off?
I've been backed off.
He said that he had been backed off as if that was like the worst it's gotten. You're like, hey, I have experienced a back off. Just so you know.
I have experienced 100 back-offs. How many back-offs have you experienced? Probably twice as many.
Like 400 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a matter of degree. The house doesn't mind players who count cards. They don't even mind players who count cards and win.
So he says, casinos don't mind if you count cards and win. I would beg to differ. We have made a combined over $1.5 million counting cards. The casinos have minded every step along the way. They put effort into keeping us from winning. They only want losers at casinos, unfortunately.
What they don't like are players who count cards and win big. It's about how much you win and how you win it. I stick to modest goals.
The first time I came to Vegas, within 8 hours, I was down $40,000 and had been thrown out of all MGM properties. They said, you're not welcome at any of our properties. They didn't say, we don't want you because you're winning big. They didn't say, hey, you're losing, keep playing. No, they knew that I was playing with an advantage and they did not want any part of it.
Sometimes it's the big win that gets you kicked out. Sometimes it's the big loss that gets you kicked out.
Yeah, all the casino's looking at is, do you know how to play well? And if you do, they don't want you.
He is saying he's able to get away with what he does because he keeps his wins modest. Like he just wins a certain amount and then he walks away.
People think that card counting, it's like using a casino like an ATM. You just show up, you play a little bit, you make a little money, but don't get greedy. Just make a little bit of money and walk away. That's not how card counting works. It's much more like investing. You're winning and you're losing. You follow the system day in, day out. Lots of times casinos don't like it, but you don't just say, oh, let me just make a couple $100 a day and then move on to the next place.
But the exception is when you double a 9 against a dealer's 10.
Yeah, let me lose a couple $100 a day and then move on to the next place. Ooh, Atlantic City.
It looks nice from a million feet away.
Yeah, if I hadn't been there, I'd say this looks like a place I'd want to visit. 6 up. He hits a 14 against a 6?
Oh. Ouch.
I tell you, they didn't even need to consult with a card counter to get this movie right. They just needed to consult with a basic strategy chart, which they'll sell at the casino gift shop. You can find it online, a million places for free. And they couldn't get that right. He hits a 14 against a 6.
What'd you see?
Blackjack pays 6 to 5. Okay. Oh. So this guy is playing. It makes sense when he said that the casino has a 1.5% edge, because this guy's playing a rule set. If you see on our blackjack table, blackjacks pay 3 to 2. All traditional blackjacks pay 3 to 2. There's this inferior version of blackjack that's popping up at low limit tables around the country where blackjacks pay 6 to 5. No card counter would sit down and play a table. This guy's playing at it, doesn't know basic strategy. The count doesn't drop, and he walks away from the table.
He's hitting against a 6 with a 14.
Yeah, terrible decisions. And then even though the count doesn't drop, he walks away. And he tips like half a bet, just walking away like, here.
I want to see the tip
No
again.
wonder the casinos aren't backing him off. The way this guy's betting, he's losing about $75 an hour, and then he's tipping the dealer $25. So he's cost himself $100 an hour. Not really a card counter.
Who is their card counting consultant for this movie?
I thought with a movie called The Card Counter, it might have some things that were a little like overly dramatic or not very accurate for card counting. This is like, it couldn't be much more wrong than this.
They just made a wild guess at what card counting might look like.
I've heard good reviews of, the acting and that stuff. I don't know. We're just watching the card counting scenes, and it sounds like if there was a movie, said, hey, you check out this movie about basketball called Air Bud. He mentions that you have to bet small when the casino has the advantage, bet big when you have the advantage. Never saw him bet big, never saw him change his bets, just saw him make really bad playing decisions and walk away in the middle of a shoe like, I'm done here. To actually learn about card counting, you can subscribe to our channel here, or if you're serious about it, you can check out the resources we have at blackjackapprenticeship.com. Don't watch the card counter to learn about card counting.